It
Yeah,
seems
it's
more
much
real.
harder to completely just come out of human brain. Like
Yeah.
our brain is limited. It's great to go out there and be inspired.
So you're well known for your love of location shooting, and that's not always sort of the Marvel way because they try to keep things, pretty hush hush locked down. I know that you shot some of Eternals on sound stages because there's no domo in real life. But how did locations play into what you wanted the movie to look like?
Well, we knew from the beginning to convince the audience that these immortal aliens have walked the planet for 7,000 years. There's got to be a level of realism and immersion involved in the visuals, and you can't quite do that on the stage. You can't really linger on the camera and wide angle and be spontaneous because there's the edge to the frame, right? So
Mhm.
so we knew being on location was absolutely necessary, and also have a film that's so CG heavy that the characters constantly interacting with things that doesn't exist. Shooting on real location actually helps the visual effects. It's easy. Visual effects supervisors love that because it allows the nature to inform what kind of elements they're going to add to make it feel more seamlessly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you get sand bouncing or whatever, I like it a little more. It
Yeah,
seems more
it's much
real.
harder to completely just come out of human brain. Like
Yeah.
our brain is limited. It's great to go out there and be inspired.
You also co-wrote the script for the movie, and I love that a lot of the characters aren't directly pulled sort of whole cloth from the comics. Like Kingo isn't a samurai, Ajax a guy in the books, Sprite is a young boy. Why was it important to you to diversify the cast and sort of remake the Eternals in your vision?
I gave that credit to Nate Moore, Kevin Feige, people at Marvel, and also
Mhm.
Purpose, who wrote the initial treatment with them, the cast and Ryan Furpole. Because when I came into the process, the treatment was written, and when I read it, these changes were made already, and I was very impressed. They weren't just random changes; they were changes. It was very specific that the leader of Eternals was the mother.
Mhm.
So I think they were very smart about it. Yeah. And I think I believe what they said, and that I believe we just wanted these heroes who's been here since the dawn of civilization look like the world.
Marvel movies usually have like some notes of humor, but Kumail Nanjiani's Kingo is like really funny on like kind of a different level in this movie. Why do you think that character and his valet, like, what do you think they bring to the movie in terms of light and humor?
It's so important to make the audiences laugh. I find it easier to make them cry than to make them laugh. So I give Kumail a lot of props for helping me with that. And they just have a very pure friendship. They have a lot of respect for each other, and there's just the chemistry between them. And yeah, I relied on Kumail quite a lot to come up with some of these ideas. Kingo is a very complex character. He's funny, right? He's always a person, he likes to make the situation comfortable. But if you think about him, he has very strong beliefs, and he's
Mhm.
not afraid to stick by it. He just go about it a bit differently than Icarus.
Is there an Eternal that you sort of identify most strongly with?
Let me look at my
Right.
list, a poster here. I think I'm probably more like Dane, because I'd be like, I don't know what's happening most of the times around me. No, I don't know. I think each of them, there's a little bit of who I wish I could be in each of them.
Has the Eternal swag truck backed up to your house yet? Like, there are Halloween costumes, there's makeup, there's t-shirts, there's action figures. Has a big box shown up to your house with everything in it?
I made a rule that I don't put anything that I've done personally in my house. Because no posters, no nothing. Because it just reminds you maybe more work you could do.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. But it's in my heart. It's right here.
We have watched, unguided. We have helped them progress, and seen them accomplish wonders. Throughout the years, we have never interfered until